Election headquarters tonight. We look at a couple of big Senate races as we close in on the 3-week mark until the midterms. One in traditionally Republican Arizona and the other in often blue Michigan. In Michigan, Republican challenger John James is going where few in his party have gone before, at least lately, in search of support. Correspondent Leland Vittert shows us from Detroit.
I grew up in these neighborhoods.
Now, John James is back in his Michigan neighborhood knocking on doors as an African-American Republican running for U.S. Senate.
My name is John James.
A sight retired schoolteacher Cheryl Wright never thought she would see.
There's a sense of pride, but if I vote for him, and I'm seriously considering it, it would not be because he's African-American. We have similar values.
The latest Real Clear Politics poll average shows James has a steep climb ahead of him to catch incumbent Democrat Debbie Stabenow. In 2012, she received 94% of the African-American vote. What's your sales pitch?
Specifically, Debbie Stabenow has failed these neighborhoods by failing to listen. One thing we need is make sure that we have greater opportunities for our children, early childhood development.
African-American business leaders spoke to the same issues during a press conference at the trucking and logistics company his father started and James Jr. now runs. Pedigree referenced by a Michigan Democrat who tweeted that James just mooched off his father, who mooched off his father. James responded, "I'm a West Point grad and Iraq vet with 2 masters. My dad, Vietnam vet and entrepreneur. His dad, Mason. His dad, sharecropper. His dad, slave." Stabenow turned down our request for an interview, but pointed us to Detroit NAACP Chairman Reverend Wendell Anthony.
I don't think you're going to find an overwhelming number of folk, African Americans in particular, carrying up a flag for John James. I mean, he has wrapped himself in a flag of Donald Trump.
President Trump won Michigan by roughly 10,000 votes, helped by low turnout from urban African American communities like this one. Democratic organizers say this time around, anger at Trump will push the people who live here to the polls. But James is banking on a lot of them coming out for him. Brett.
Leland, thank you. Early voting is underway in Arizona, where the Democrat there is trying to flip the Grand Canyon state. And she might be in a deep hole tonight, though. Kyrsten Sinema is defending herself after the emergence of past comments she made that do not reflect favorably on Arizona or on her. National correspondent William Lajeunesse is live tonight in Gilbert, Arizona, where Republican Martha McSally is getting some support this evening.
My opponent brags that she owns over 100 pair of shoes. I, on the other hand, have over 100 combat missions.
Just today, there was another news report about another lie that she told about our campaign.
It's a race defined by mudslinging and attack ads.
While we were in harm's way in uniform, Kyrsten Sinema was protesting us in a pink tutu.
Martha McSally supported a health care bill with a crippling age tax.
23 years without a Senate Democrat, Arizona is changing. Today, a third of registered voters are Republican, a third independent, a third Democrat. 1 in 4 voters are Hispanic.
Martha McSally votó para eliminar.
Emily's List hit McSally this week with a new round of negative spots on Spanish-language TV.
I am literally the firewall race to make sure that Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and all their friends are not in charge.
Sinema calls McSally a threat to Medicare and Social Security. McSally paints Sinema as a fraud, a far-left Democrat pretending to be a moderate. In ads, Sinema doesn't even call herself a Democrat.
Arizonans are looking for someone who's independent, who's going to stand up for them and not just do what party bosses say.
Problem for Sinema, 2 videos from her past have surfaced in the last 24 hours, showing her denigrating the state.
The states are the laboratories of democracy, and then my state, Arizona, is clearly the meth lab of democracy.
In another, as a state senator in 2011, Sinema refers to Arizona Republicans as crazy.
The Republicans get a free ride when they call the Tea Party something other than what they are. And we have to say, no, Tea Party, Republican, it's all the same thing. It's called crazy.
Sinema's campaign claims the tapes are misleading, referring not to all Republicans, but out-of-state interests.
Arizona ran for
Now, Congresswoman McSally has former Governor Mitt Romney in at a rally today in Mesa, former President George Bush next week, and at some point we're told President Trump. Now, neither one of these congressmen has run a statewide race before. Sunday is the sole debate, giving voters their first chance to see them in an unscripted form and not the subject of an attack spot. The results, Brett, could be critical to the balance of power in the Senate. Back to you.
William Lajeunesse live in Gilbert, Arizona. William, thanks.